I got a whole lot of questions, but I know that I'm not set at quarterback right now. Maybe I'm set for next year because there's nobody else that I can get, but I'm really not set. And I don't know, what next year is going to hold, what they're going to do in the draft. I hope Howie doesn't get, just too itchy and feel like he has to take a quarterback because as of right now, I agree with you about the first round.
But Harry,
I don't think there's anybody there. But
maybe
by April, I get there with a Kenny Pickett or something, and they can take 2 of the picks and slide up. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot of questions right now, but I'm not comfortable with what I got at quarterback. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna try to talk you off the mountain, man. I'm trying to talk you off the mountain.
Yes, it's a miserable Monday here on the middle. And isn't it sudden, the end of the football season, when you lose in the playoffs, it just kind of hits you like, wow, it's over. Like all this lead up and all this anticipation of a playoff game, and then bam, it's just over. They slammed the door right in your face. And you knew when they went down 14-0 that there was nothing the Eagles were going to be able to do. And they not only lose and got dominated in all 4 phases. And when I say 4, I mean offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. But they were outclassed yesterday. And you really saw how fraudulent, the whole 7th seed of the playoffs really is. And I know there's numbers to back that up since they've added, extra teams and so forth. But yesterday you just saw how far away you are as an organization from being an elite team. And it's a big gap. And I have no idea what the game plan was yesterday on offense or defense or really anything. And I'm more confused. I have more questions now than I do answers after that game yesterday, Barrett Brooks.
You know what? I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to say that at this point, I know where my baseline is. I know where I'm at, and I know where the rest of the league is. And I also know that the elite teams, they just have something else that we don't have right now. They have something else. So as I'm approaching this offseason, I still don't think that they need to go out and get a quarterback. I still don't need that. I think Jalen Hurts will be all right. I know everybody, probably including yourself, is like, we need to get rid of Jalen Hurts.
Awful yesterday.
Everybody was awful, man. Everybody was awful.
Well, I'm not going to say everybody because I'm going to start with the quarterback because that's where it starts and ends. With the head coach was terrible, and the defensive coordinator was terrible, and the quarterback was terrible.
Yeah, you'll get no qualms.
All of them.
Everybody was terrible, but I can't just blame it all on Jalen. I have to give everybody their fair share of everything. I can't go into this offseason thinking that I need to go with another quarterback. Because number one, there's nobody else out there that can come in and do a better job than Jalen right now, with the exception of guys that are already on the roster and are not going to come to Philadelphia.
Right, but that's the only reason you're saying that. If this was a draft where you had maybe 4 or 5 good candidates that were legitimate first-round picks and franchise-esque guys, you wouldn't be saying that.
No, I wouldn't be saying that.
Okay, all right, let's just make that clear. All right.
That's very clear.
All right.
If there was something better out there, I'm making it very clear. If there was something better out there, then I would definitely probably go in that direction. But I don't see anybody in the draft that's better than Jalen Hurts right now. I don't see anybody better than Jalen Hurts, with the exception of the 2 guys that, we've been talking about for the long. Well, 3 guys we've been talking about for the longest.
Yeah.
We're talking about A-Rod going to Seattle and
Deshaun Watson. And Wilson. Yes.
Yep.
And
those are the 3.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to just stop it there because I don't know what some of these other franchises might be thinking. There's a lot of tumult and chaos around the league. There's 8 open jobs. I think there might be another one open later this week in Dallas because I know that owner is very upset by what happened yesterday, as he should be. But I don't know what the Las Vegas Raiders are thinking about their quarterback situation, but I would have interest in that guy. And
I would too.
I don't know what it would cost you to get him away. I don't know if he's available. There's a lot of I don't knows. That's what I'm saying. I got a whole lot of questions. But I know that I'm not set at quarterback right now. Maybe I'm set for next year because there's nobody else that I can get, but I'm really not set. And I don't know, what next year is going to hold, what they're going to do in the draft. I hope Howie doesn't get, just too itchy and feel like he has to take a quarterback because as of right now, I agree with you about the first round.
But Harry,
I don't think there's anybody there. But
I gotta talk you off the
maybe by April, I get there with a Kenny Pickett or something, and they can take 2 of the picks and slide up. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot of questions right now, but I'm not comfortable with what I got at quarterback. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna try to talk you off the mountain, man. I'm trying to talk you off the mountain. We're talking about Jalen Hurts. He just lost to the best quarterback that ever put on the uniform. And that's, we got to temper our expectations because of that. We just lost to the GOAT.
Well, I mean, they'd lose to Green Bay. They'd lose to San Francisco. They'd lose to practically everybody else except maybe Pittsburgh that were in the playoffs with the way they played yesterday.
It wouldn't matter if we had anybody else at the quarterback position. We'd have still lost, just like the Dallas Cowboys lost, and their quarterback is better than ours. It's just those elite teams have those elite players at the position that they need to be elite at. Everybody else is right around where they are right now. With the exception of the Chargers and Seattle. Their quarterback position is okay, but they're not in the playoffs. But everybody else in the playoffs, the quarterback situation is where it needs to be
except
to be in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh too.
Well, not yeah.
They're left searching now. I don't know what they're.
But I mean, look at it. I gotta have envy for Cincinnati. Do you see that kid there? I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You look at the Bills. Quarterback's unbelievable.
Right.
But you're not going to find a lot of those guys right now that you can just pick up, even with the first round picks that we have right now. I don't see us going anywhere in any direction that we can get better at the quarterback position.
You're not talking me off any ledge. I'm not on a ledge. I realize that there's nothing out there maybe right now in the first round. At least I'm not there in January. Like I said, maybe by April I get convinced that 1 or 2 of these guys is a guy that'd be worth getting. I don't know. But I know that I'm not set. I'm only set because there's nothing else available. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm gonna say I still like Jalen. I think Jalen could still, if you give him more than what he has, he could do more with what he couldn't do yesterday. He just didn't have enough. He has basically 2 receivers,
right? A
tight end and a receiver.
And a wide receiver that they hardly targeted until the second half. I have no idea what the hell they were thinking. Thank God for Troy Aikman yesterday. Because I thought he was brilliant. Yes. And I don't say that about Aikman very much. I think he's pretty average as far as like an analyst. Good job by him. He says 50 times a game. Yesterday, he was very critical of what the Eagles were doing on offense, on defense, on special teams, and he was 100% spot on.
He opened up a lot of people's eyes of the inefficiencies, not just at the quarterback position, but at the coaching position. He just didn't understand, like I didn't understand, why Gannon would line up the same defense he lined up with the last time they played against each other. He didn't understand why on offense we were calling plays in which we would just single in on one player during one drive instead of going to multiple players during drives. I don't understand it. We'll just lock in on calling plays for Goddard, or we just lock in on calling plays for Smith. And we can't lock in. You got to have some diversity in where the ball is going to go.
And how about the 3rd and 9 and I think the 4th and 10 plays in the first half? They go to Reagor.
Right.
What? Like, what was the obsession with getting Reagor involved in the offense?
Bro, I lost
the muff punt. I mean, it's just brutal.
I lost all respect for Nick Sirianni and his coaching style because of Reagor right now.
Yeah.
He is not an NFL caliber receiver or returner right now. He's just not good enough to be on our roster.
No.
And our roster is not a good roster, but he's not good enough to be on this roster.
I agree. And he shouldn't have been out there fielding punts, especially after that muff punt. This coach always preaches accountability and all this kind of – that's bullshit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have to hold him accountable on his coaching for making that decision to have him on the field at any point in the playoffs.
I agree, and he's Mr. Wide Receiver coach, and these wide receivers, outside of Devontae Smith, nobody really got any better. As the season went on.
Even we had guys that that probably could step up, but with him being a wide receiver coach and the head coach, that should have been one of our best positions.
Yeah, I agree.
We had nothing. We got nothing from that position the entire year. We got nothing from that position.
Yeah. Now, what did you think the game plan was from an offense? Like you guys were talking about this during the game, pre-game. Because I'm really at a loss.
Me neither.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand I'm always screaming, run the ball. But what do? Todd Bowles understood that we were going to do that come hell or high water. We're going to run the ball. So what do? They put a bear front in. We call it bear front. We call it Navajo. We call it, that's the front. That's the famous Buddy Ryan front where you cover the center and you cover both guards with big guys, big defensive linemen. So there's no way you're running in the middle of that defense. There's no way you can run the ball with 8 men in the box.
Right. You got 8 men in there. You got Sue in there. You got big guys, big tough guys.
So you don't do it. You can't. This is one of the few times I say, all right, Jalen, you're going to have to throw us out of this situation. You got to throw them out of this defense. You got one-on-one to the outside. You got one-on-one with your tight end. You got to go to them. But we wanted to run outside of that. You're not going to run outside of that with the Levante David and Devin White out there. Two of the fastest linebackers in the league.
How about the 3 safeties that they had? They were all over the field making plays. And by the way,
exactly, they're bringing them on the edges, understanding that you're going to try to run outside of them.
Yeah,
so
what do they do? Winfield and Edwards were all over the place.
They lined them up on the outside to stop the run because they knew since you weren't going to run to the inside, you're going to try to run to the outside. So they took the safeties and lined them up outside so you couldn't even run past them.
Right.
That's a great job by Todd Bowles, understanding that you're going to run regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
So he stopped it. So you got to go. You got to have somebody that can go out and have checks and balances in game type situations, not just at halftime, but game type situations. How do you do that? All right, you got to check to a pass. I didn't see the ability to have those type of checks and balances throughout the game. I didn't see it. So, I am so glad this team went to the playoffs. These guys now see how it feels to be in the playoffs. The tempo of the game, the way athletes play changes from different facets of the of the year. From training camp going into the season, it's going to ramp up 20%. You go through the season, and you get to the last month, it's going to ramp up another 20%. But then when you get to the playoffs, it goes another 20%. Ramps up the intensity and everything in the playoffs. Right. And when you get to the Super Bowl, it's 20% more.
Yep.
And I'm glad they saw that. They saw it and got punched in the mouth and see what it is to taste their own blood. So when they get into that situation next time, they know how their blood tastes. They know they're going to be okay now.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Now, there's no guarantee they're going to be okay the next time, but I get your point. But it's funny how this game played out really like the regular season played out.
Yep.
When they play good teams with good quarterbacks, they got nothing. Right. And offensively, it has played out the way their first team offense has played since the New Orleans game, which was the last time they actually scored points in the first quarter of a game. This time they didn't even score until the fourth quarter.
Right.
But we've seen them get out to these awful slow starts against bad teams. And they found ways to come back and beat those bad teams. You get in the playoffs, there are no bad teams. And it gets late early in the playoffs. Exactly. I tweeted that yesterday because it was 14-0. That game was over.
And you looking at this whole entire situation, we drew the bad straw and went with the eventual, the last year's Super Bowl champ. So we knew we were going to get outclassed from the quarterback position. We knew this from the start.
Right. There's nothing you can show him that he hasn't seen.
Right. But then you also get an elite level play callers in the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So now you really up against the buck. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it just goes to show, B.A., Nick Sirianni, is another class. Todd Bowles, Gannon, another class.
Yeah, that's a hell of a staff that he's assembled. Now that's
no
going to get blown up. He probably loses both coordinators.
Yes.
In the offseason here. But
Byron Leftwich.
Yep.
Next level Stinson.
Yeah.
Steichen, whatever his name is.
Shane Steichen, yeah.
Steichen.
And I tell you, yesterday I was really into that Dallas-San Francisco game because I was on the Niners from as soon as the line came out. I jumped all over San Francisco, had them on the money line at plus 140. So I was digging that. But I thought D'Amico Ryans did a nice job yesterday with their defense.
Up and coming.
Yeah.
He has called great games and shut down. He just shut down a great offense a week ago with the Rams.
Right.
Shut them down.
Well, they got out to the lead, and then they shut them down. They came back and won the game.
In the second half.
Right.
Yeah, in the second half. Held them to nothing in the second half. And that's what you have to do as an elite play caller. You have to find a way to stop guys. We at no time found a way to stop. Well, they did get some great pass rush at times during the game.
How about
they got them in positions 3rd and long?
Yeah, when Ryan Kerrigan is your best player on defense in a game, you've got issues.
You knew there was no way we were going to come back in that game. When he gets 2 sacks, and I'm thinking to myself, he is really trying to get somebody to pay him next year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he got one of those behind the line of scrimmage like he did in the regular season. That was the play he made yesterday behind the line of scrimmage was the same thing that happened the one game that he made a tackle in during the regular season. He just kind of ran into the guy. like he comes unblocked, and here comes the guy in like a jet motion or something, and boom, there he is.
Right there making a play. And I'm thinking to myself, he is really trying to get paid right now.
Oh, it's so great. I hope he does get paid. I hope some nitwit general manager gives him a check. Who am I to say he doesn't deserve more?
Right. But, we see the glaring issues at positions of need that have to be addressed in the draft.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have no pass rush on the outside.
No. Where was Fletcher Cox yesterday?
I'm still.
Did he play?
Did he play this year?
Yeah, I don't know. All I saw him, he was looking gassed in that third quarter.
On the sideline.
He's got nothing.
Bro, like guys like Aaron Donald never come out.
No.
Never. No. They never want to come out the game.
No.
And he's on our sideline. I don't understand it, man. Sweat, he was out the game, so I was like, all right.
Now, what happened with him? Because I didn't even know this, that he had some surgery or something early.
No, he had an illness. It said it was almost
like a life-threatening situation.
Yeah, life-threatening situation that hit from an illness. I'm like, what could it be? What is it? He had to get his tonsils out or something. You know what I'm saying?
That kind of hit me from surprise.
They say he wanted to play. He was going to try to play, but the doctor said, "Look, man, you can." I give him all kudos for trying to, but they're like, "No, man, you would really, put yourself in a bad position if you went out there and played." So, at least you tried to play.
Yeah, he underwent some sort of emergency procedure for a life-threatening situation on Tuesday, according to
gallstones or something.
I don't know. No idea what they said. It wasn't an appendectomy. I think Jeff McClain got out of him that it wasn't an appendicitis.
Yes. That's good.
So I'm just like thinking, what the hell could it have been?
Wow.
And now inquiring minds want to know.
Well, man, like I said, man, it regardless, you know what I'm saying? Because I see it in the stream, there's something about, Aaron Donald ain't 30 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you're in shape. How old is that quarterback there? Brady's 44 years old. He's playing he's playing better now than he was then.
Looks like he's 30.
Age ain't no but a number.
He's getting better looking as he gets older. Right. Did you notice this? My God,
his face is starting to get more sculpted.
My God, he looks better than I did when I was 24. And that was the height of my career, Barrett. 24 was all downhill after that.
Oh my goodness! But what are they going to do, man? They totally whiffed on Jalen Reagor and them trying to put him in a position to be good. You can't keep bumping your head against the wall, giving the guy an opportunity and taking away an opportunity for somebody else. Understand you're saying, or he's better than who you have there, Greg Ward Jr. But Greg Ward Jr. can produce when called upon.
Right.
Reagor couldn't produce when he was called upon.
Yeah.
So you got to bite the bullet, take away from the explosiveness that he's supposed to be able to bring to the table with a guy who gets open, creates separation, and can help your team go in the right direction.
And then I saw some people were trying to make excuses for him with the punt because of the wind. I'm like, are you serious? This guy deserves excuses at this point?
No.
Come on.
No.
I mean, it was 17-0 at that point, and I granted they were not coming back anyway. But I mean, once that happened, they would have had the ball at midfield,
right,
like 48-yard line or something.
There was no way that he should have been on the field at any point. He should not. He should have been on the sideline right next to Sweat.
Now, what did you think of the first interception that Jalen threw in the end zone, trying to force the ball into Devontae Smith in the corner of the end zone? He didn't see that safety. 32 Edwards coming from the middle part of the field, and he made the play on the ball. What did you see there? He was rolling out to his left, right? Correct?
Yeah, that's one of the inefficiencies that he has. He does not throw guys open. He waits for them to get open. When you wait for them to get open, they're not open anymore.
Right.
And that's one of the things he has to get better at. He was rolling to the side, and he took off. He really didn't need to take off a lot of the times that he took off. And early in the game, he would leave the pocket too early, seeing ghost.
Right.
He's got to slow things down. And he did that toward the middle to end of the game. Start slowing things down. The game got slower to him. But as soon as he made that cut and he threw his hand up, the ball should have been out of his hand on its way to him before then.
Tampa Bay might have slowed down. They had a 31-0 lead.
Right. They did slow down.
Fourth quarter, 31-0. Let's slow down a little bit.
Right. They did slow down, man. Ridiculous.
How about the other interception? How about the play Shaq Barrett made on that ball? That was incredible.
That's just a great play. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you.
Yeah.
He threw it up there, and he tried to have a little touch on it, go over the top. And Shaq just jumped up and made a great play on the ball, tipped it to himself. That's just tough, man. That's tough. Those are one of the things, that you just got outplayed on that play.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times I saw us get outplayed, outcoached. And then another thing, one of the most glaring things that I saw, that every time we try to get something going, it was a big play.
A penalty.
The reason it was a big play, it was a penalty,
right,
to make it a big play.
Now, to be fair, there were two calls that I thought went against him that that were horrible calls. I didn't agree on Barnett roughing the passer. I didn't think that was a roughing the passer.
And that started it out.
But he has a history. Okay, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Never.
Because he's done it so many times in his career. So there's that.
Walk
and the
like
other
a duck,
one,
talk like a duck.
Right. The one holding penalty on Kelsey was not a hold.
Exactly.
It looked like a hold, like probably when the official's looking like it, because it looked like he grabbed him right here in the chest on the jersey, but he really didn't.
He just let him go.
Yeah. So that was a bad call. But the other hold was legit on Kelsey.
Yep.
Man,
Kelsey had he had 3 penalties on him, and he had 1 the entire season.
Yeah.
And we played it up the week before that he only had 1, and what happens
right
in a playoff game? He gets 3.
Yeah.
Man, it happens. But every time we get in a position where we could make something happen, we always have a dumb penalty, a dumb mistake.
There was another one, Quez Watkins, offensive pass interference was a bad penalty. Maybe he started to block. He started to block before the ball was caught.
Right.
See, now that's that thing where I'm like, well, what has Sirianni been doing all year? That's his level or his area of expertise. And yet these guys continue, to get called for offensive PI all season long. It's happened.
But see, that's one of those things where they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt because it happened all year long. But I didn't really think it was a bad call. I didn't think it was a good call because he was behind the line of scrimmage.
No,
and you're allowed a foot down. You're allowed a foot down the field.
You're allowed a yard. He was.
No, I'm talking about the pass.
Oh,
the pass was behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay,
which means if you're a yard down the field,
Watkins wasn't.
But he was only a yard past the line of scrimmage. You can block in those type of situations. If he's behind the line of scrimmage and you're going to block, as long as you're a foot behind, beyond the line of scrimmage and not more than that, then you are allowed to block.
Yeah, but I thought he was like 2 or 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage when he engaged.
During the time, as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you supposed to judge that? You know what I'm saying? That's just like one step for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I understood what happened. And to me, it was a bad call. It's a ticky-tack call, if anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yeah.
we got screwed a lot, but we also put ourselves in a position where we're going to get those type of calls because we're just not good enough to compete against those type of teams.
I also thought there was a no call on what could have been roughing the passer on Hurts. He was hit out of bounds. It was very close.
Yes, and he played it up too.
Right, but it looked to me like, if he is somebody else, if he's 12, he's going to get that call
all day.
Jalen did get the call.
No. He's a running quarterback, so they look at him like that. So one of those benefit of the doubt things, you're not going to get it because you're a running quarterback.
Right. Somehow, for some reason, they're treated differently.
Yep, exactly.
So, but man, shame on me for thinking that they could actually compete in this game and make it somewhat, a contest into the second half. And I look like a dope.
Well,
because in the pool, I took the Eagles plus the points in this pool that we're running at one of my other places, and I look like an idiot.
I'm going to continue to be an idiot because I seriously don't think that they're not as bad as they played yesterday, but they're just not a good football team to compete against the level of talent they need to be and go beyond in the playoffs. They are better than the average teams in the NFL, but they're just not at that elite level that they can compete going on and into the playoffs, especially when you're going against an upper echelon team who's, still predicted to go win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Now, I really think, from watching the game that Tampa Bay has just enough to beat Rodgers.
Well, they got to get Wirfs healthy. They can't go in there without the right tackle. And I know he tried to come back in the game, but to Aikman's credit, he saw it right away and said, "Look, they got to get him out of there. He's going to." And then the next play, he gives up a sack to Kerrigan. Just came in with one arm and just bull rushed him and knocked him on his ass.
Exactly. his legs just folded up and gave up underneath him. He
had nothing lower support there, the poor guy. But then the other thing was they got to get Fournette back to beat the team next week. I think. I thought when the Fournette wasn't going to play, the Eagles actually had a chance to make it somewhat competitive. But
they should have had a chance.
I was wrong.
But they got outcoached. Yeah. On the defensive side, offensive side of the ball, their defense. I think Gannon needs to go take a head coaching job somewhere.
I'd love to see him get a job in Denver or Minnesota.
Please.
Honestly. But, we can sit here and say that he stinks or, he's not aggressive. It was 31-0. I mean, this offense did squat.
Nothing.
Okay?
Nothing.
So
what they had going into halftime, like 20 total yards or 30 total yards.
I think they had like how many first downs? 5 first downs, I think, at halftime. They had 1 first down in the first quarter. 1.
Unbelievable. It looked like it, though. It looked like it.
Yeah, they only had the ball for like 4 minutes and 59 seconds in the first quarter and had 1 first down to show for it.
And that's exactly what we say we need to do the opposite to compete against Brady. Keep him off the field. But yet we kept Brady on the field the entire time.
Crazy.
We could not stop their running game.
Nope.
With a guy that was just a guy.
Right.
And who is this guy?
Yeah, the guy from Vanderbilt.
Right. Who is this?
Yeah. Well, you want his name? His name was, let's see. Where is it here? Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yes.
Keyshawn Vaughn was a 2020 draft pick, I believe, middle round out of Vanderbilt. You didn't see any Le'Veon Bell yesterday.
Nope.
You saw Giovanni Bernard in the second half. I guess they figured that they didn't want the young guy toting the rock late in the game because of ball security. Probably wanted to rely on Giovanni Bernard, a veteran guy, late. We didn't see much of Jordan Howard. I think he got 1 target in the game, no running, because I guess their whole plan is use him in the second half to sort of salt the game away.
Yes,
and there was no salting taking place in that
Not
game.
A bit of it.
No.
They made sure they put that 8 in the box and then dared you to try to run outside with the safety sitting out there waiting for you.
Right. And Gronkowski didn't kill him. I know he scored a touchdown, but he had like 5 or 6 receptions, but only for like 30 some odd yards. It wasn't like he was killing them all day. Evans, they had nothing for Evans.
That's coaching. Lefferts, okay, we know Slay is sitting out there on the outside. We're going to go with your smallest DB. We're going to line up Evans in the slot. Who's the slot? Avonte Maddox, our smallest DB, our smallest defender out there. We're going to put our biggest guy on your smallest guy and let him run rampant on crossing routes. And that's exactly what he did. ran rampant on crossing routes and just outran. First of all, he's faster than Vontae Maddox also and outran him to the spot.
Wait a second. Angry Al bet on the Eagles yesterday. The Dallas fan, he said, I bet on them and said they would win outright in public. Oh, my goodness. I hate to do it. Oh, my God. Oh, now I know we're going to have to take a timeout. We'll be back. We're going to get through some of these other games. I'd love to get your take. I know you were doing the post game during that Dallas game.
Yeah.
But it was really a good game, entertaining. And, of course, did you see the end? Were you able to see?
Yes.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts on all that.
I was talking to them. They cheated, man. The clock management was horrible, man. They cheated. They tried to get over.
Yeah.
They tried to get over. Oh, yeah.
But they didn't.
Nope.
No, they didn't. All right, we'll be back in 3.